Maximus Taximus.
Sambo, hey Dom.
Good, mate. How are you? Good? Keeping well? That's good. That's the main thing.
Yeah, the wife and kids are good. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, good, mate. Just calling on behalf of Telenova here. I wasn't in this chat, but apparently they're on the show.
They are on the show. I had a chat with Josh and Ed, and it's around the release of their new album, The Warning, which just dropped.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, it is such a good late night album. And we get into it in the interview, and I don't want to preempt myself, but I just think this album is such a good late night, like sneaking around the city kind of vibe. Oh. And I think everyone should get into it for that sort
like a kick-ons album.
Not even kick-ons, like maybe you've had a couple of beers and you're walking home kind of album.
Oh,
you're just seeing the world around you.
It's a bit M83.
Yeah, exactly. And look, as well as that, we kind of discuss touring in Europe and some of the like more off the beaten track cities that the bands don't normally get to, and Telenova are going to a couple of smaller shows that and kind of how they got there and kind of how they got set up. But look, I'm not going to do the whole spiel before we get in there, so
I'll introduce you then.
Please
shall
do.
I? This is Max interviewing Telenova.
Well, with the release of their new record, The Warning, we are joined by Ed and Josh from Telenova. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you?
Edward, do you want to go first? How are you, Ed? Where are you?
Going extremely well. I'm in an unmarked van.
Is this concerning?
What kind of park are we looking at, Ed?
It's pretty tight. I'm not in a no standing though, so like everything's all right. I'm legally parked in the south of Melbourne.
Very good. I'm in my bedroom.
Is the bedroom legally parked, or are you doing some dodgy council stuff?
No, it's parked. I love to park.
Yeah.
Ed and I are obsessed. Well, I'm a little more obsessed with parking. It's just, fuck the rules, man. Find your own park. Make your own destiny.
100% agree. I don't know if the parking ranger that comes around in the little vest is going to be ticking off on that one, but
finding the ones that the parking ranger doesn't know whether they can give you a ticket or not, you're like in that middle zone is what Ed and I are always looking for.
All right.
We love someone who lives life on the edge of the yellow line, just wherever they want to be.
That's it, man.
Well, we like to start the show the same way every week, which is to find out what you guys are listening to. So, what have you been listening to in your playlists? If you've been spinning on your vinyl recently, what's been on?
I can go if you want a second, because I actually have been listening to music recently. I didn't know. I was talking to Ed about this today. I've been listening to the 2008 Ghosts 1 to 4 Nine Inch Nails sort of instrumental album. And I was just reading my book, this cultural history book of the last 25 years, and it told me that one of the songs was what they used for a sample for Old Town Road with Little Nas. I had no idea, and I know lots of Trent Reznor facts.
It's a really cool factor though, because so Lil Nas X got the beat off a beat market from some Dutch kid, and he sampled the Ghosts bit. So that's why Trent Reznor ended up having that songwriting credit on the song, which is really long way around about it.
He said his management just got in touch and said, look, it's happening. It's not huge yet, but it's popping off. Are you cool? And he's like, just sort it out. Trent Reznor's like, just sort it out. Whatever, it's fine. I don't really care. Just make sure I get a decent cut of the songwriting, and I'm not too fussed about it.
I'm sure he's done well now.
Yeah, he would have made millions. Him and Atticus Ross. It's pretty sick. I mean, as if he didn't already have enough, but that's a pretty cool way to make a little bit of extra cash. But yes, that album's sick. And then the next one, Ghosts 5, is really good too. I love Trent Reznor. So yeah, that's what I've been listening to.
Well, I've been listening to this particular playlist that a friend sent me, which just has some great songs on it for like party times, which is pretty good. But there's an act called Nilüfer Yanya that Josh and I saw last Thursday in Melbourne. And I found that to be quite a good show, even though I got there a little bit late. But
you got there late, I left early.
Yeah.
Not a good social occasion.
That record's really good, though. Her record, My Method Actor, is excellent.
Yeah. I feel like Telenova are a big fan of that record when we were in Europe 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago.
Yeah, we actually listened to it all together all the way through without much conversation in between because we were just backstage trying to get sleep. And we all agreed at the end, wow, it was sort of flawless. There's not actually anything irritating about any of it, eh?
That so heavy, like some serious tones going, and the drumming's unbelievable as well. So yeah,
Yeah, that album's really good.
that album's like a year and a half old. So I got to step up my game, listen to some more.
No, Ed, you don't. Just because it's a year and a half old, that's nothing. Don't get sucked into this new formula that the world's operating in.
Our album's already old, and it's not even out yet.
Yeah.
Wow. Confidence in it. I like it. Is the sitting around as a band listening to a whole album all the way through, is that a common occurrence for you guys? Do you find yourself kind of bonding over that, just put the record on, let it play?
I don't think that's ever happened before, ever.
Right.
Nah, it's so funny. That would never happen. We're usually in the studio, like showing each other songs, but it'll be like 14 seconds in, and we'll be like, all right, stop playing that. I've heard enough of that. Let's make our own. So, yeah, we don't really. Well, actually, no. When we have lunch at yours, Josh, you usually have some type of old song that is put on in the kitchen and is just kind of in the background. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's usually a bit of an education for Ange and I.
I think that kind of touring band putting on a CD or listening together or an album still happens a little bit, but these days I find if you spend quite a bit of time together, someone will have their AirPods on listening to a podcast or something, and you're not all sort of engaging. I think especially with noise cancelling headphones and stuff, that camaraderie changes a little bit. But yeah, there'll be but I think to get all three of us to listen to one album start to finish, mate, good fucking luck.
It's a rare little treat. It's a sometimes treat, guys.
Actually, no, Ed, I'm lying though, don't you think? Because when we went to Europe the first time and it was just me, you, and Ange, we sort of must have got through some.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of. I feel like the Blur's most recent record was out.
Yes, we did that one.
I remember driving through Germany listening to that one. All these great European memories. So sad.
Just all driving related, all going 180 kilometers related.
Sorry, no, the memories are great, but I feel sad now because I'm hoping we can get over there this year. Yeah, because it would be fun to do. But I'm getting nostalgic for those kind of long trips listening to music together. But I can't remember what else we were blasting.
I think we just did classics because it's easy. You can listen to OK Computer because you know everyone's going to be happy.
Oh, I reckon I showed you MGMT's second record, and you're like, yeah, I knew it was great.
Yeah, I've tried about 6 times across the last 15 years or whatever it's been, and every time it's the same. Like, yeah, this is just not that good.
Well, let's dive into a bit of Telenova music in that case, which, as you mentioned, the new album, The Warning, look, it's old, it's new, it's out yet, it's not out yet. The record feels very physically intimate, especially compared to some of your previous releases. And it feels like this record is a lot more grounded in acoustic sort of instrumentation compared to a lot more of the electronic and trip hop sort of stuff that we're used to, I suppose, with Telenova. Coming into this record, what was kind of the approach that you wanted to take with, I suppose, both the songwriting and the instrumentation behind the record?
That's totally not true. It's way more electronic than acoustic at all. I wasn't really even allowed to play that much acoustic guitar on this album, was I? I think I was sort of banned.
I can see where you're coming from. It maybe sounds a bit more, for lack of a better word, rock.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
I think it was, to me, it felt like some of the previous releases were, more like drum machines and electronic textures that were built in. Where it sounded like you got behind a real kit, and maybe it was just a very well,
absolutely
sampled
not.
drum
We're
machine.
never getting anyone behind a real kit.
But yeah, we actually did.
Oh my god, Ed, we did.
Oh man, we've been called out. We did. We got someone behind a real kit. Yeah, we had to we had to replay some parts, shall we say? And
Yeah, so we didn't get sued.
yeah,
It's just when you use a drum sample and you obviously we couldn't clear the master on some of them, and so we just got someone to redo it. Damn it! Yeah, I was just trying to shut you down, Max, but
yeah,
no. I think maybe there's. Nah, I don't know. Everyone hears it differently.
Look, it sounds like I've torn a rift apart in the visage that is Telenova.
It's trying to be nicer, and I'm just saying what I think.
Hey, that's what we're here for, and that's totally fine. One thing that definitely I feel though, well, we'll find out. Maybe we can't all agree on it, but one thing I feel like we could agree is it feels a lot more sort of late night as a vibe, as an energy. It feels like Bit Crush and Vapor Slow Dance both feel like they'd be on, at home on a city pop playlist. Paralysis Ghost feels like I need like a dinner and a show and a smoky club to enjoy that track. I suppose what were those moments, those real world inspirations that sort of sat behind the approach for the record?
Now you're talking. Now we're all on board here. Smoking. Something about smoking. That was my favorite thing that you just said. No mention of a vape.
yeah.
Absolutely. Acoustics only.
Ed and I get really excited when we see someone smoking an actual cigarette. It's one of our great mutual joys. Yeah, those things, that sounds right. I like the kind of late night idea. I guess it's just sort of all development, right? You write songs and then for our last album, those ones all felt really good together. And then this time, if it felt like we were repeating ourselves or if it felt old, like it would have belonged on the last album, we just didn't want to do it. So these were all the ones that felt like they belonged together. And it's not necessarily more mature, but maybe a little darker, like a little less light leaning, and maybe there's a few more frivolous, playful lyrics on the first album, which I don't think we really did so much on this one. There's a little more tumult with what was going on in everyone's lives and things that sort of came out with that. Yeah, in that way.
Going off what you just said there, like these songs are the ones from the sessions that fit together the most as a cohesive project. Were there ones that had sort of that more sort of light tone or that didn't reflect the tumult that didn't make the cut, that are sort of sitting somewhere in someone's hard drive as a future project?
Yeah, I changed jail, right?
Yeah, I don't know. We were kind of all locked in on making the record sound a bit darker than the first one. So even like, oh no, there's one off cut that I can think of that is maybe a bit lighter for sure. But yeah, we were kind of all locked in when we went to the big studio to kind of redo a lot of the parts. We kind of had the 12 or 13 songs that would whittle down to 10 locked in, and they were all pretty dark. I mean, like they all felt kind of like smoky and yeah, and brooding, which is cool. Cool change.
Another big part of the Telenova project has always been sort of the visual aspect. And obviously Ange has that background in film. And so, finding the imagery that suits all of these tracks and kind of, the cohesive album as a whole has been a big part of all the material that you guys have put out. How much of the placement, the order, the specific song selection was led by, hey, what fits into this imagery that we've kind of created, that we've crafted for this project specifically?
I feel like the art comes after the music. There's still a lot of thought, but I would say we would have collated the songs and then, started to form what was going to be the 10 songs for the album. And then once that comes together, there's a lot of brainstorming and then analyzing of lyrics and emotions and feelings and stuff. And I think that's when Ange starts to piece together what she sort of wants to make it look like. Ed and I, Ed, we don't really get too involved with that, do we?
No, we get dressed up. We play our little part.
Yeah, we get told what to wear.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, we're really just focusing on the music, and Ange definitely is kind of the visual. Although, like, having said that, Josh, you're kind of designing the new live shows with Ange, because you know how a rock show should go. So, I feel like
just want to keep an eye on things so that Ed and I don't end up having to wear something that we're really uncomfortable wearing.
The
Yeah,
spandex
'cause
bodysuits.
yeah, there was a sleeveless leather jacket incident. No, sleeveless vests. I guess
Yeah,
they're sleeveless. Yeah. In London one time when we got dressed up by some people and we didn't have any say in it, and yeah, there's a couple of great photos of me just being like, "What is going on here?"
big village people vibes. Yeah,
I think that's above board. I think you're on. I think, get some hard hats out, get some cop uniforms going on.
bro, hard out.
You mentioned it before. The live show is coming along alongside the album. You guys are hitting the road to celebrate with a trip around the country as well as a couple of all ages shows. I suppose, how have you kind of evolved the live show, the look, the feel to kind of match with the new record?
It's changing again, isn't it, for this album? I think, well, because you sort of, at the start, there was just lots of random shows all the time as you're putting out songs and EPs, and nothing's really super cohesive, but you're always adding to it. But then for the album shows of the last album, there's particular styling and a few little interlude songs and things, and trying to build a world. And then I think because, like you're saying, and we're agreeing, this next album's more late night, darker, a little brooding. So just sort of trying to develop it again. But also, you're always restricted by your budget and restricted by the venue and where you can get to. So we've hired some people to help with it. I think it'll be cool. It's still, what the lighting guy's gone a bit MIA. Someone else, like, who knows what's going to happen in the end, but we'll do our best.
Are there any particular songs or moments from the album that you're yet to try in the live space that you kind of keen to see how they play out, how the crowd reacts? Are there any sort of question mark bits that you like? Oh, this could be interesting live.
It's just like the CD, but live, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any freak out jams, but then maybe no, yeah, there's probably not. Like, but I mean, we got a live drummer, so that's. I mean, we've had Beasley for a while, but it's. I mean, having a bit of a bigger budget and stuff, and making it be maybe a bit of like a storyline for the shows. Is that what was happening?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Yeah, some traps and some projections and some moving around and stuff. The shit thing is,
Yeah.
Max, I got to say, and I've been feeling this and noticing it for a long time, is that every band, for the most part these days, has got a backing track or a click track, and so you're sort of tied into this tight thing that you can't really manipulate that much. The tempo is always the same. If you don't come in after the 4 beats and play your bass line and start the song, the whole thing has to be started again. And again, it's all budgetary because you can't afford to have, if we could afford maybe 2 other people to be in our band, we could do everything without needing backing track. And that would be my dream, because just to actually feel a little loose. And I think also as an audience, you can hear the danger in it when it's looser or it feels more exciting. But when it's just on a click track, everyone looks, I don't know, I don't love it. So I look forward to seeing that change a little, and well, for us, and I think for some bands as well. Like, I feel like the Nilifer concert aired the other night. Everyone just looked scared. Everyone looks scared because if they didn't hit the bit at the right time, the whole thing falls apart. Whereas when you Pearl Jam, it's all there in the name, mate. Pearl Jam.
I suppose, yeah. Are we going to see the Telenova extended 12-minute guitar solo jam,
That would
in the
be
middle of the
so
track sometime soon?
awful, and it's never going to happen. But it's more so just the idea that if someone misses a cue, or you want to just, like, out of the first chorus, not go straight into the first verse because someone just forgets to do it, you can, and it doesn't matter. Little, like, accidents can make cool things happen, but we won't be doing that. so expect it to sound like the CD.
Which means if something happens in a show, it was meant to happen. It was always meant to happen. Just go with it, team.
Nah, but Ange sounds awesome live, and everything's a little bit more rock and roll. So it definitely feels like something. It's just, there won't be a 12-minute guitar solo. Not the Grateful Dead.
After you finish the Australian run, you do head over to Europe. I'm sure there'll be plenty of full albums you can listen to in the van. We'd love to see when a band heads over, especially to Europe, and they're heading to places that are less expected. You guys obviously are doing, France, Germany, the Netherlands, those kind of classics, but you're also heading to Czechia, and Greece. What is it like connecting with on stage with kind of those places that probably don't get Australian touring bands all that often?
Well, the funny thing is, when we released our first single, Bones, or as the Greeks call it, Bonds, they love Bonds. It blew up there, and I didn't know much about Greece. And then we went over there after our first European tour. We were touring with a guy called Rule, and he was kind enough to let us jump on board. But then we played our own shows in Europe, and for some reason Greece is one of our bigger markets, and I now love Greece. I mean, it's great. Athens especially holds a sacred part in Josh and my hearts. But yeah, it's awesome going over there. The Greeks are cool. They know, I feel like they're, for lack of a better term, they're on the wave, and they're they're a bit edgy, a bit grimy, it's awesome going over there to Greece and playing.
Yeah, I don't think we I didn't anyway, have any idea of what Athens was going to be like, and it did feel, it was like Berlin if it wasn't lame.
Those German audiences are going to be pouring in now for the shows.
Nah, Berlin's fine. I think it's just, Berlin's had such a moment for quite some time that it's easy to take the piss out of it now, whereas Athens feels like it could be cool and cheap, and you could have arts communities, and it's sort of happening, but it's not. Sort of like what Lisbon has become a little bit, but even that, maybe that's over now. There's always a new Lisbon's not over yet, but you know what I mean. Athens was sick, and it's got the vibe, and we enjoyed being there.
When those first few times that you went over to places where you wouldn't necessarily expect a big audience, a bit that's 100% there for the Telenova show, how much of it was getting the locals to trust you that this is the show they want to be at? How many of them are peering through the curtains going, oh, maybe, kinda? Was there that kind of building the trust with the audience, or were they pretty much there straight away?
I feel like the promoters did an awesome job. We played a thing called Release Festival, which was really awesome, and then before that we played it. Oh man, I can't remember the club. We're playing there on this run though, but they looked after us so well, and just every night was heaps of fun with them, and just lined up all these press opportunities and acoustic things, and we were just kind of going around Athens and just seeing it, and it was awesome. It was probably it was the first time that I'd ever experienced a promoter really taking you under their wing and taking accountability for the show that they're putting on to that extent. So it was sick.
Yeah, it's really awesome when that happens. It's kind of rare, but when you get it, it's the best.
As long as people are checking their vapes at the door, acoustic ciggies only. This is a Winnie Blue exclusive tour.
I feel like people in Athens weren't vaping. They were smoking real cigarettes, right?
100%. Athens is real cigarettes. Yeah.
We bought a pack of real cigarettes ourselves as soon as we got there, didn't we?
You have to.
Yeah, that was...
when in the country near Rome, as they say. Well, Telenova's latest record, The Warning, is out on the 27th of February, so listen in wherever you get your music. Catch them live on the Warning Tour across Australia in Adelaide, Perth, Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne between April 10th and May 2nd. For international listeners, they'll be heading across the EU and UK between May 12th and the 29th. Head to telenovamusic.co for more info and tickets to the show closest to you. Edward, Josh, thanks so much for coming on and having a chat to us today.
Thank you, Max.
Thanks for having us.